Ladies and gentlemen, Kim here. Welcome to the Daily Update. Hope you guys had a good day trading today. Market is up about 1.8% there. On the S&P Nasdaq, 1.7. Semiconductor made a move, 2.3%. Dow, 1.7. Russell 2000 made a move, 2.4%, along with the transport and the banks and energy. These guys are up more than 2% today. Biotech is up a little bit, along with the healthcare. Home builders up 3%. Utilities 1.2%. Retail made a move, 3.6%. I was looking at some of the tickers and looked like Nordstrom was up 40% today, which is in a retail sector. Emerging market 0.17% there. Bitcoin down, gold, silver miners finally getting some red prints today while the equities are up, but they're down 1% or so today. GDX down about 0.3%. Dollar pretty much flat. Oil up 5%. Treasury bond down. VIX is down. Let's stick with S&P 500 ETF. Spider. 65-minute chart here. So this is where we closed yesterday, and we opened up here. So we actually saw that gap up. This was very important price action on that first hour, seeing that gap up, because you can see it just this week. This is where it closed on Friday. We gapped down, right? And then what happened was this is what we closed on Tuesday, right? And then we gapped down again. And then we closed here on Tuesday, right? Yeah, so Monday gap down, Tuesday gap down, and this is where we closed on Tuesday, after market close. And then for the first time this week, we actually gapped up. So actually, if you look at that, this is kind of what happened on Thursday morning, gap down, Friday morning gap down, Tuesday morning gap down, and then you can see how every single day in the last 3 trading sessions, we've been gapping down. Even here, we gap down. Any other days here? So when you see this market gapping up for the first time in a while, right? That definitely says something about today's price action. So when we saw the gap up, obviously we needed to see that gap sustaining. Bulls make sure to keep that gap open, because bulls don't have any gaps they're working with right now, right? Any up gaps, right? Obviously, bears got this down gap, and there's another down gap above. And because those 2 down gaps are open, things being extremely painful for the buyers in the month of February, right? And bulls had nothing, no up gap to work with. So finally, we got a small size up gap here, right? And then on the first hour, we see that the move to the upside, and bulls were able to protect that up gap. And the second hour, we see a follow through, third hour and fourth hour. And then you can see on the 5th and 6th, kind of an upper tail showing. And it is no mistake or coincidence or random occurrence that we're seeing the tail just right on that pivot level. Everybody knows this is important level. Everybody's watching this level. This is a make or break level, which I talked about a few days ago, right? So what bears are going to think is that this is a little bit of an overshoot, little bit of trap the bulls before this thing coming right back down. What the bulls are going to argue is that's a cultivation. We got to this micro term higher low, and this is going to be next higher high. We're going to consolidate a little bit, potentially maybe even come down, retest a short-term moving average. We're going to kind of surf it up, and we're going to go right back and fill this gap. So those are the arguments that you're going to hear from the bulls and bears, right? So overall, I don't think any of them are wrong, right? We need to let the market dictate who's going to be right. So when we're dealing with this kind of market sentiment, instead of trying to choose side, what we want to do is that we want to come to an understanding that, okay, you know what? We're in a primary long-term bullish uptrend. Yes or no? Yes. We've established that fact on my last weekend video. However, we are in a short term and the midterm downtrend, Yes or no? Yes, right? You can see that my midterm moving average declined. My short-term moving average is declining. However, for the first time, we're slightly above it, but we have to see the trajectory of that short-term moving average still decline. We need to see an evidence that moving average is trajecting to the upside. And not only that, we need to see the price to kind of use it as a new support, right? And we haven't seen that yet. So as of today, things can change, right? But as of today, short-term, mid-term sentiment is bearish, right? What about the micro-term, right? Micro-term, we have my micro-term moving average is rising. And we talked about that yesterday, how that bulls are just barely hanging right on that micro-term moving average. They know they can't lose. This is a last lifeline for the bulls to hang on to that micro-term moving average. And this is a level that bulls must somehow see some kind of bounce. If not, bears gonna bring it down 424, 420, probably even 415. Do that gap up. You can see my micro-term moving average is rising. It's been rising here. We hit a slight sideways, but rising back up. You can see right here, it's is sloping downward, right? So let's recap that real quick. Long-term, primary term, bullish. Short-term, mid-term, bearish. Micro-term, bullish, right? And so we gotta work with that. You can't be just choosing sides here, because market can do both of those things tomorrow. No one knows. Flip your coin. Is it gonna do this or is it gonna do that? You don't know. I don't know. None of us do. So let's just work with what we currently have. And that's what we call a good unbiased analysis. If bulls want to change this sentiment and start to let the bears sweat a little bit, you go up and fill this gap. We get to about, you know what I'm saying? You get to about 446 or 7 or so. Bears are going to start to sweat a little bit, and bulls are going to start to find that confidence again. But we break lower again, right? From here, let's say. And these moving averages continue to move to the downside. Bears ain't going nowhere. They're going to bring it down. They will find a way to bring it down again, because that's what they've been doing for the entire month of February. Here, let's check out that oscillator and see if we can extract any more information. So only lifeline bulls had yesterday, right? This is a kind of a clutch move from the bulls today. There was only lifeline, the micro-term moving average. Because last time when we lost that micro-term moving average right here, tanked. So they didn't want to see another tankage. And then you can see my oscillator support right there. This is not a coincidence. This is not a mistake. This is not an accident. This is not a random occurrence. When the oscillator decided it was going to cross back up, it crossed back up right on that vicinity. When the buyers were just barely hanging for their life, just right on the micro-term support yesterday. I'm talking about micro-term moving average. So, right, things can change, but with the data that is at hand, what do we see? We see that oscillator advancing and looking pretty confident here. So what the bulls need to do, because the oscillator is not overbought. We have one more day of move that they can push. Bulls are not tired. Mind you, they have all the energy necessary to bring it up and to fill this gap and bring this oscillator all the way to the top of his span. That will be the objective for the bulls for tomorrow. Bears, if you let the bulls do this, if you let the bulls go up and fill this gap, trust me, bulls are going to gain that confidence because we're in a primary and the long-term uptrend. You'll be surprised how quickly bulls will turn things around. I'm going to come back for you. We'll reassess the situation. Enjoy your evening and good trading tomorrow.